This is a one-of-one custom Fortnite-themed Xbox Series S. It was designed in collaboration with LeBron James and given to fellow NBA star Zion Williamson. Despite that, it is not Fortnite's most valuable collectible. In fact, it might not even be in the top 3. To figure out why, we need to go through the 3 additive pillars that make up the valuable of a collectible, and how it has led to pieces of plastic selling for hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Spanning ordinary mass-produced items, limited giveaway prizes, and a small handful of pieces that are the prized possessions of collectors. A common theme between the top collectibles is scarcity. This is best seen through the various Epic employee-only merchandise, one of the most well-known being the seasonal pins. They are uniquely designed pins themed around every season and given to Epic employees. Despite the exclusivity, quite a lot have been distributed, so you can usually find them on resale sites for under $100 a piece. This only scratches the surface, as there are many mass-produced items that can fetch higher prices. Some of the standard Fortnite Funko Pops sometimes go for more than the employee pins, although there are many more employee-only merch pieces that could fetch way higher prices due to scarcity, like this Peely-themed basketball, signed by Donald Mustard. It is said to be a 1 in 10, which likely makes it the most exclusive Epic employee-only merch out there. Right now, one is asking for $750 on eBay. We also know about other employee-only merch, such as themed floaties, Meowscles beanies, and a variety of ornaments, some said to be very rare, such as a Save the World themed one from 2013. Though all of these seem unlikely to sell due to a combination of low quantity and employee respect for the company, which is unlike the various reward items given to players, like the Storm King pin, given to Save the World players that they defeated the newly released Storm King boss before New Year's Eve 2019. They are well liked by collectors, but typically don't fetch any more than the Epic employee pins since they aren't too rare. Some tournaments within Fortnite also rewarded players with merch, like the commemorative hats from the free Fortnite Cup. Same as the pins though, they weren't too hard to get, only needing top 8,000 on EU to get one, although there are other merch items tied to tournaments that are likely the most prized collectibles ever, fulfilling all 3 pillars. But we first need to understand pillar number 2, so let's take a look at some of the rarest giveaway rewards. One of which being this custom kill count Xbox One X, which is speculated to be a 1 of 2. It was first seen as a giveaway prize for the 2018 Fortnite Pro-Am sweepstakes. Then 8 months later in February of 2019, Xbox themselves gave one away via their Twitter page. Other than that, not much is known about this console and we have no idea who the winners were. If what Zeke said about it having the winner's gamertag inscribed on it is true though, it could decrease the value. But a few more custom Fortnite Xboxes have been made, and these are a lot more valuable because of the presence of Pillar 2. Significance. Made up of merch that is substantial to Fortnite history or with mainstream cultural value. Keeping with the Xboxes, we have the custom Kid Leroy Xbox Series S. This was sent out to a few content creators in celebration of the Kid Leroy being added to Fortnite, although one of these was actually given away by the official Xbox ANZ Twitter account. After some digging, the user that won was announced and they posted about it. While not as scarce as a kill count decal Xbox, its ties to the Kid Leroy significantly bump its value. Another one of these is a custom Metallica themed Xbox Series X, a 1 of 3, only obtainable via a one-time giveaway hosted by Metallica to celebrate their collaboration with Fortnite. It is not only rare, but also signed by all 4 members. Metallica also included 2 custom-made guitar controllers and an exclusive colored vinyl, both of which were not produced for sale and likely sit in the same price range as the Kid Leroy Xbox. And this is about where the LeBron James Taco Tuesday Xbox would be. It was created to be placed in LeBron's pop-up taco restaurant to advertise his Fortnite skin. Eventually, it was given to fellow basketball star Zion Williamson, who then gave it to a friend of his. That friend later posted it on OfferUp, where it was then scooped up by YouTuber and console collector Gamester81. The official listing shows it at $2,000, which makes it a reasonable price ceiling to the saga of Fortnite-themed Xboxes. And if you made it this far, I'll reasonably ask you to subscribe to my channel. But moving on, collectibles don't need celebrity ties to be significant, as some hold major sentimental value to Fortnite history. One of the most famous examples is the Smasher statue. Most of the ones that exist were given to various Save the World and Battle Royale YouTubers early on, although a fair few have been given away via social media competitions. They don't appear on resale sites often, but bare minimum they fetch a few $100s. Just about a year ago, a sealed statue signed by a multitude of developers sold for $1,000 on eBay. A literal piece of plastic. This is the impact of cultural significance, but there are a few relics that date even further back and hold even more weight, like the founder dog tag. Only 500 were ever made, each of them being numbered. They were distributed at PAX West 2013, with their only mention being a single tweet from Epic letting people know where their booth was. Right now, one is asking for $20,000 on eBay, which definitely seems like too much. However, there are items down the line that most definitely command higher prices. But before those, let's look at what may be the crown jewels of OG founder merch, the Alpha Tester shirts. Sometime in 2012, Epic Games put out various gig listings related to Fortnite alpha testing. The Seattle shirts seem to be more common as there are a few Reddit posts of people showing theirs off. One user said his specific testing group was only 25 people, so it's safe to assume that no more than a few hundred people participated. A recent eBay listing was asking for $500, which seems low in my eyes for such an item. And there may be even less of these, the Trollface shirt. I'm sure there's someone out there that knows more about this than I do, but it's from around the same time period and this seems to be the only picture online. All of the items discussed for their cultural relevance are for sure valuable, although they are missing the last pillar, liquidity. It is what makes the top two collectibles the pinnacle of valuable Fortnite merch. Keep in mind, these pillars are additive. The seasonal pins may have high liquidity, but they aren't very scarce, so it's not much of a status symbol to own one. Retailing for a high price doesn't matter either. The Balenciaga Fortnite hoodie may have retailed for over $700, but it was relatively mass produced, hence why you will never see one being reasonably resold for above $1,000. To understand real liquidity, let's look at the second most valuable collectible, sealed copies of Fortnite. A sealed copy of any old game is a timeless collectible in general. Sealed copies of classic video games easily hit the mid 5 figures. While Fortnite is by no means a classic game, very few physical discs were made, and even fewer discs were kept sealed. In November of last year, a sealed Xbox copy of the game sold for $42,500. 12-year-old you should have known that in 2026, sealed Fortnite would become a speculative asset for money laundering. Now, one thing about the $42,000 price is that it is definitely manipulated to some degree. The two main companies behind the grading and auction of these sealed games are currently being sued for market manipulation. That being said, 5 figures is still a very realistic price for a sealed Fortnite disc, especially if it's one of the ultra rare PC discs. I highly doubt that any of you watching this on a gaming PC even have a 5.25-inch drive bay in your case anymore. This is because by 2010, digital sales began to rapidly outpace physical game sales for PC. So it makes it all the more intriguing how a game released in 2017 even came out with physical PC discs. Plenty of users online post about their PS4 and Xbox discs, but you almost never see any for PC discs. On eBay, I managed to find 2 listings, both already opened, which is very much reflected in the asking price. If there does still exist a sealed copy of the PC disc, it could probably hit a truly unmanipulated price of $20,000 to $30,000, a price only superseded by the final collectible, the Puma x Neymar Fortnite shoes. 7 of these in total were made to celebrate Neymar's debut as a Fortnite icon. This alone already makes them extremely valuable, but the way in which they were acquired only further bumps them. Alongside Neymar's icon debut, Fortnite held a cash cup like they do with other icon skins, but unlike other icon cups, first place in every region had its own separate prize, being the Puma x Neymar Fortnite shoes. So with only 7 regions in the game, only 7 pairs were ever made. And you probably recognize some of the winners like Muzz on OCE, Rizan on EU, and Seiyun on Brazil. And come on NAEs, did we seriously let a console player win our region? Actual Mickey Mouse shit. Overall, the scarcity with only 7 ever being made, the cultural relevance of being tied to one of the world's most renowned football players, the liquidity of being the type of collectible that sells easily, and of course, being earned by winning a Fortnite tournament, make this the most valuable Fortnite collectible of all time, likely fetching a 6-figure price given enough time, especially when Neymar retires. It's worth noting that the NA West winner, Solution, posted about his pair and they aren't the same shoes as initially advertised. Not sure what happened there, but they're still valuable either way. So while we wait for the shoes to sell, subscribe and check out some of my other videos.